Hello and welcome to Raising Your Business, where we help you remember to expand your mind daily. Welcome new subscribers, enjoy the playlists, check out channeled messages, songs, inspirational videos, meditations, and more. Welcome returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. To learn more about one-on-one multidimensional energy healing sessions with me, read the Healing Modalities page on my website. In this video, let's talk about humanity's mental health since 2020. What is happening right now is an aftershock from nearly 3 years ago. A lot of families got affected on different levels. Health, mental state, it went down to even relationships. People finally started realizing that the person they thought they were with was actually the idea of the person, so there have been a lot of separations and divorces since then. It's going to continue rising, and the concepts of whatever we thought how life should be, those stages of life, is slowly starting to hit everyone, where you actually have to face into buying the lies that we grew up with and got indoctrinated. It is important to not blame everyone around you, because if anything, they bought into it too. So it is up to everyone to watch your own path, and basically you do you. Just like people's health was jeopardized, emotional state, psychological, was also targeted. And now there are more people suffering with depression, exactly from that fear that was generated post-quarantine, is what we're dealing with. More and more people are withdrawing, going within, which is a good thing. The problem starts when they don't want to talk about it, when the person is not reaching out for help. So a lot of times people think that when they reach that dark side, what many call dark night of the soul, they think that they could just overcome it and then everything is going to be okay. I want to tell you that there comes a time when if you don't catch it to reverse it, it turns into a depression. Because the situation was global, energy started intertwining with everybody. You could go into a supermarket, you could go into any store, and that fear energy was so thick in every place. People were terrified because it was in your face. Reminder when you saw those pictures of masks, reminder of constantly keeping the distance. It went all into the programming and the psyche. It went deeper than people realized, because right now is the aftershock of that programming. People's personal lives got affected. Relationships with our own self got affected. And now the pandemic is the depression, continuous fear of what's next. And whenever the person is reaching this state, they won't care much about the inspirational messages, nor will they care much if you tell them, oh, it's okay, it's gonna be alright. Because when the person reaches that rock bottom emotionally, it is very important that they reach out for help. So if you're one of those, as difficult as it is, as much as you think that no one will understand you, it is important to reach out to someone, friends, family, not necessarily talking to them about depression if you know they can't help you or realize the depth of it, but at least socializing a little bit will go a long way. When you reach the state, don't wait, because the more you saturate yourself in it, the bigger it's gonna get, and it's gonna feel like David fighting Goliath. It's like you fighting against a giant. Post-quarantine fear was the beginning of this cooking, of this depression, and it's spreading. If you've noticed, there's been this unrolling of all kinds of therapists. You can even find now therapy online. It's everywhere now. So a lot of people are reaching out. If you think that this works for you, go for it, because at least you'll communicate to someone. Now, it's not that is this negative energy that is all over and it's spreading. You can look at it as a very powerful energy that is bombarding the frequency of beings on planet Earth. Those who are able to work with themselves, to continuously keep up with those energies through inner work, working through their insecurities, and have the strength to move forward, they manage it. So remember when I did the survey, how are you feeling in these energies? The majority of you answered feeling like being between the worlds, but okay. So this is the average spiritual seeker feeling between the worlds. That's like going through the fourth dimension, where you feel you're in between the physical and non-physical, but you know you've got it, you're okay. Now, if you feel that you're behind, and if you feel that you're struggling, make sure that you start doing something about it now, because the energies will get stronger. These energies are not against you. These energies are just very high frequency that will bring out anything in you that hasn't been resolved yet. So the more that there hasn't been resolved yet, if you're not equipped with facing yourself, if you're not immune to self-sabotaging, you might struggle. If you already reached the level of depression, accompanied even with the dark night of the soul period, it is important for you to talk to somebody. Friends, family, professional help, anyone. It is important for you at least every now and then to not isolate yourself. Never underestimate depression with the dark night of the soul. It is like quicksand. If you don't know how to get out of it, you gotta make sure you don't get into it in the first place. Now, those who are already equipped, because you've done so much inner work in 2020, 2021, that now you've got it. It is like being a perfect surfer, where you just ride the wave and you know exactly what to do in case this happens or that happens. It is like learning a formula, but the way you learn it is when you learn yourself. When you know how you, your mind, your body are reacting when certain situations happen. And you know that there is nothing new under the sun, nothing new under the sky. It is all the same, just with a different color. But it's the same. If you felt that humanity is on the brink or on the precipice of something new, or if you felt that something's gonna give, like something is about to happen, but it's like we don't know what. That's how it's been feeling for a couple of years, and it feels like it's getting stronger. In the meantime, you have other things unrolling. 5G, you got artificial intelligence becoming stronger, and there are different types of it. There are benefits from it, because if it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't be able to communicate, right? If it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't meet this spiritual family all over the world. We wouldn't be speaking over Zoom. We wouldn't be speaking and learning from each other if it wasn't for this internet. So there are benefits. At the same time, everything needs to be balanced. When something is encroaching on your energy field, you must get a hold of it. You must step in and be the boss of your energy before it starts taking over. And it's not that it's doing it on purpose. It's because imagine it's a wave. It's not partial, it's unbiased. If you know how to navigate, you would navigate through it. If you know how to avoid being in the situations before they come, then listen to your intuition. This depression is becoming stronger and it's spreading. It's an aftershock of the global fear. It's like as if it was promoted, but then it became tangible, where you could actually see people shaking in line, constantly turning around. People had a hard time focusing on their daily routine. People had a hard time speaking normally because of that fear. It became so hectic that many physicians couldn't even see their patients. unless it got to the point where it was a critical situation. When it reaches this point, that means that there is something going on a bigger scale than we know. And by now you're probably realizing that you are your own savior. That if you haven't been taking care of your physical health, emotional health, now would be a good time to start. I've been talking about cleansing. It helps your body so much to eliminate toxic energy, toxic bile from your system. It is so important to breathe consciously, to bring in this prana into you consciously, being aware of your breath, being in nature in this pure state as much as possible, to socialize with like-minded people as much as possible. When the energy heats up, it will either strengthen you or it might weaken you, not because it's doing it on purpose, but it's because it's more powerful and because it is unknown. If you've ever heard of the Van Allen belt, when energies through it start spilling over, and they already are, the planet is gonna start moving through higher levels of fourth dimension. You will start noticing that the simulation of this reality will have a hard time loading properly. If you've noticed things missing and then they appear, or things loading halfway, that's what I'm talking about. So I've seen them, but those that have never seen it, and imagine that it's amplifying now, how hard would it be for them? Think about it. If you knew what you know now, many years ago, life would be different. Life would be easier, right? Now imagine that now you gotta step up and do more so that your life will be easier by the end of this year. It is all a preparation for the light body. It is all a preparation for these new energies that are coming through. In the meantime, the simulation is going to be unrolling. And what is in between? Your body, your psyche. This is why it's important to take care of it, because you're still here. You are needed, but you are needed healthy, and you are needed whole and complete. And this leads us to emotional codependency, which also started being seen by people while being stuck in home for so long and seeing who they've been with for so long, realizing that for many years now the person you've been with is actually not the person who you thought, but maybe they changed, or maybe you just fell in love in the idea of this person, and it goes on. These concepts of how we were brought up, people are becoming very cautious, and everything around us is being affected. Its educational system, real estate, stock market, religion, mainstream news, entertainment industry, all of that is also being affected, and in order to keep itself alive, it's going to be shining its sparkly light everywhere possible. If you notice, there's advertisements and seems like unbelievable possibilities for everything out there. Every company is now enrolling new features and new options because they're competing with other big companies, brands competing against other brands. But who is in the middle between them? It is always the person and the person's body and the psyche. So while they are competing with each other, you are being in the middle, and you are being told, we'll get the credit card with the 0% interest, or we'll give you this bonus, and then here this day you're gonna get your shopping done so you can afford this and you can afford that. Think about it. Affording for what? Affording for the body. Do you have any time for your soul's heart? So that is what it's about. Because in the meantime, the energies are amplifying for you to step up, to be more compassionate to yourself, to remember your soul, remember where you come from. We don't blame the simulation, because that was the whole idea of us coming in here. It is important for us to maneuver like a beautiful surfer, ride the wave properly. This is when it's now more than ever going within and examining, upgrading yourself as much as possible. These earthquakes around the world, volcanoes erupting, weather changing. Now it is not even seasonal. Now it is continuously breaking record. Just in case we are at this precipice of something is gonna give, let's aim something good is gonna give, where humanity and the civilization is ready to move forward. So for you who feels whole and complete, I encourage you to share. I encourage you to care, just like you care for yourself. Daily, send love to everyone around you and around the world. Remember that you are a part of the whole collective. However many people we are here, however many souls that wanted to come through in this time space, we are sharing one goal: remembering, merging with the divine in the conscious state. It is only clever and kind of you if you do share love and care in your meditations, in your prayers. Remember that line, it is not always as it seems. I want to share with you something that guides told me to do years ago, when the news was just like, it was all over the place. And I started noticing that it's as if the script that they were reading, it was like as if something was arranged. That's what it felt like. So the guide said, turn off the sound, but just watch the pictures, watch them talking. If you want to, read their lips, okay. If you just like observe the pictures moving. And then I realized that whoever is working with montage and just like video editing, it's like as if something is not adding up. It's like as if there's a specific theme that is being pushed. I said, okay. And then the guide said, okay, now turn off the screen, but let the sound be on. So for you, let's say if your TV doesn't have this option, basically turn away and listen, but don't watch the TV, just listen. This is going to be another story. The story is not going to match the video that you were watching without the voice. Then the guide said, okay, now turn on the screen and listen to all of it. And when I did, I realized that there were 3 different versions of what I was being fed with. Then I asked them, I said, well, what are you trying to say? What does this mean? They're saying this is the mind control. This is the mind manipulation, and it's done through visual, through hearing, and through other frequencies, whether you watch or you don't watch. Which means it's also on the radio, and which means it's also on billboards, commercials, everywhere. I said, okay, but since it's everywhere, what are we supposed to do? And they said, you are supposed to be wise. That's what you came here for. Souls forget that they are in control too of their own psyche. Souls come in and then they forget that they're supposed to be the bosses, the owners of their own mind. This is how we give our power away. Now, if you think about it, it's on your screen, whether it's on your phone or on TV or desktop, tablet, wherever. It's not making you do something physically. It's programming your mind. And it's got patience. So if it takes you 2 years okay. And if it takes you a month, okay. Because it's already there in the plans. If A doesn't work out, plan B will be unrolled. And if it's not for plan B, then it's going to be the plan C, because something is going to give. And now it comes to the spiritual person. You do you. You do not need to compare yourself to others. Nor should you feel that, oh, someone is not awakened, so you're better off. No, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They might jump the timeline and experience the shift overnight. So it's not about bragging how many meditations you do every day. It's not about how many shifts you experience. Because it is important for you to get a hold of your own understanding of your path. Because it is time and it is your responsibility to get a hold of your own journey, your own remembering and understanding of where you come from and where you're going. Do you know where you're going? If you say no, that's not a good answer. Time is not going to wait here. The energies that are coming in are definitely not going to wait. If you don't know where you're going, that means you don't know who you are. So we're going back to know thyself. We're going back to your inner work. How do you do inner work? How do you know who you are? It is becoming conscious from the second you awaken in the morning to the second you drift away, being conscious of your thoughts, of your actions, of your words every day. This should become so easy that it's like a walk in the park. So if you think this is a difficult task, I'd advise for you to start now, because the energies are not gonna wait. We are in the quantum time right now. It is not adding up anymore. It is squaring and multiplying. If you feel that every day you're a new person, that's because you are, because the DNA upgrade is happening rapidly. In the beginning of our sessions, that's what we do. The beginning is always to scan how you are keeping up with these energies. The majority of you are really doing well. You are keeping up. Those who are not are given instructions on what to do. And I'm sharing this with you because wouldn't it be worth doing your inner work now and being prepared, but not so that you are all guarded and ready just in case something is about to happen, but actually looking forward to this new life? That would be better. If we were to shift into the fifth dimensional state of consciousness right now, the majority wouldn't be able to survive mentally. Because if you are in the victim mindset, if you're always complaining about yourself, to yourself, about others, to others, you wouldn't be able to feel comfortable in the state where it's not available. When everything is loving and you're continuously sabotaging yourself, pushing away situations and people who love you, you wouldn't be comfortable in that state. So the fact that it's happening slowly and gradually is actually kind of kind and merciful on us. But there's more and more people who are quote-unquote waking up and starting to remember that they are divine before physical. People are waking up to the possibility of co-creating in the ethers first, and then having it come into the physical. The more people are tapping into the higher states of consciousness, there is a butterfly effect. There's going to be more and more people waking up. And it's not about you bragging and saying you had your first awakening 20 years ago, and so it's been 20 years since you've been awakened. It's a journey, it's a process. You don't just activate your third eye and you go jolly with your third eye activated. You have to continuously maintain it. Why is it that you experience these ups and downs? Because what people don't realize is just because you're getting your dental checkup and deep cleaning or whatever every 6 months. In between those appointments, you have to brush your teeth, you have to floss. In the same way, when you get your third eye activated, it is your job to maintain it. It is your job to take care of your crown. It is your job to speak your truth. It is your job to love yourself. It is your job to be confident with who you are and express yourself through your skills and talents, and remove these boundaries and remove these programmings of fight and flight. If you don't do it daily, how are you going to move into the unity mindset if you always think of separation and one against another? Now, in a unity consciousness, there is no separation, there is no one against another. It's not available. It does not apply. It's that NA, non-applicable. Imagine living in a world like that. You would constantly feel, you would be paranoid that someone is going to jump out and do something to you. Because how is it that everybody is loving? But if you're used to this, if you're cultivating that already in you now, when it starts descending and merging with you, it will start making sense. In the meantime, we are in the world of contrast. And for those who are doing inner work, this contrast margin between the higher frequencies and the lower frequencies is becoming bigger and bigger. This is why you have this desire to move jobs, to move location, or even change your circle of friends, or even make changes in your relationships, make changes in your business. Because whoever you were back then, frequencies were matching, but now probably not. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets to be in it, because you don't match, you don't mix well. And so now, after all of headaches, all of the divisions, all of the financial struggle, all of the educational system, how many people are upset with how they were brought up. Now it is very important to not go down the guilt and the anger road, because it's not going to get you anywhere. Facing your shadows, facing those dark sides of drama, trauma, is a good thing, because then you will be able to work through it, and you will know your limitations, you will know your strengths, you will know thyself, so that you know what you didn't like, you know what wasn't good for you, for now to be able to build what is good for you and what you like. Spiritual evolution is that, it's evolution, it's a journey. Everybody experiences ups and downs in their lives. What I encourage you is to have discernment. Everything that you hear out there and hear, everything that you see out there and hear, always use discernment. The most important relationship you can ever have is with yourself. You can never run away from yourself, because you are that you are. No amount of substance, no amount of anything can keep you away from you. Even when you numb yourself, if you ever tried that, you're still gonna be with you. And now it is time to let go of what is it that has been holding you back. Face it. Does it give you value? Does it help you grow? Or does it hold you? Does it stagnate you? Are you ready to let go of it and to put your soul's heart first? Or do you want to feed the drama? The more you feed the drama, the harder it is for you to overcome it, because you're the one who's feeding it, you're contributing to it, you're missing from your own I am. When you say yes to something, at the same time saying no to you, you're not there for you. Many people would like to escape too. That's not gonna work. Whether you escape or you don't escape, you're still gonna have to face yourself. If you're looking for an easier way out, that would be from within. That would be from knowing thyself first. Regardless of what you do, that would be the most important. It will start from: who are you? Why are you here? What can you do in life to have that bliss, that happiness? It will start by knowing thyself. If life got to the point where you've been so busy that you feel like you've been giving and giving and there's nothing left, it is time to take a break. It is time for you to get enough rest, to sleep. Everyone is so sleep deprived. You need to rest. People are dehydrated. Drink plenty of clean water. Clean water. If you don't invest in your own health, then that money is gonna go towards medication. So wouldn't you rather spend that money on health? Invest in your body now so that it helps you later. Seek alternative healing if possible. Cleansing your body, cleansing your mind, releasing and letting go of those programmings. It's amazing how easily the brain is programmable. Look around. Everything we do is because we were told that's how it's done, and this is for this and this is for that. And God forbid you make a change, and they will look at you like something is wrong with you. Who is programmed? You deserve to have your own style. You deserve to be unique. We all have our own uniqueness. Honor it. What is so special about you? There is not one person on this planet who doesn't have some unique skill that wouldn't help, contribute, and heal another. Every one of you has that. Remember something very important. There is no one ahead of you. There is no one behind you. There is no one greater than you. And there is no one smaller than you, no matter how much it seems that way. Seems, that's all it does. It just seems. I am that I am. That's your awareness. Now. As long as you're aware, you're halfway there. To the remembrance of who you are, consciously. That's what we're going for. We're going for the conscious awareness. But it's got to start from somewhere. Start clearing your space. Start cleansing your space. Literally give yourself space. Find out who you are. And if you got to the point where you've been in such a long solitude, where it feels weird to talk to another person, that means you've been doing it for too long. When you start criticizing and almost hating another person just for being there, just for driving by, passing by, that means it's gone too far. So it's time to socialize. Go out. You don't need to speak with every person out there, but it's important to be out and at least see one person here and there. If you've been a hermit for too long, start gently coming out of it so that you balance your energies. If you're an introvert, balance. If you're an extrovert, balance. Know thyself and whatever is good for your soul. Show compassion to those who are struggling, at least with words, with wishes, and in your meditations, in your prayers. Send them love, care, kindness. Send them white light. If you don't know how to do it, pray and ask for the divine, or ask for their guardian angels to give them that healing. If you don't know how to do it, it's not a problem. You can request for it to be done. With your intention, with your words. It is time for us to communicate telepathically. Feel, start feeling, become sensitive. In a good way, sensitive. Like a perfect antenna. Be sensitive to frequencies so you could read between the line, so that you could know what is good for you, what is not good for you. Become and remember what it means to be telepathic, clairvoyant, clairaudient. You've had it in you this whole time. It is deep in your DNA. Unlock it. It is time. And for those who've been doing it already, congratulations, because now you're seeing how grand this project to help humanity awaken is. It is not about perfection, nor it's about aiming 100% of everybody awakened. It's about making sure that you know what you are doing. You know who you are. Your cup is overflowing, so you could help others. There is this misconception in the spiritual community. Many people hate themselves, or so they say, but they want to help others. And then they get upset that the universe is not showing them the way of how to do it. So they desperately want to help, but they put themselves last. And even they're not even on the list of people to help. Well, that's why the universe is not bringing you anyone. How can you help if you can't help yourself? How can you know how to help another if you don't know how to help yourself? Going back to know thyself, love thyself. It is not so bad to love yourself, not as an egotistical being, but as a respectful to your own soul being. If you don't want to say that you love yourself, say you love your soul's heart. If that feels better, okay, take that. I love my soul's heart. Can you say that? Say that again and again until it clicks who you are. That you are more than a body. But you gotta take care of the body. You gotta take care of that mind. The mind has been programmed for eons for fight or flight. The mind forgets sometimes what is real. And this illusion keeps going on and on. And what happens if someday this simulation doesn't load and the illusion fades away manually? What are you gonna do? Can you handle it? That's when you make it, when you can handle it. And look at everything around you as tools to help you. But you are your own savior. You are your own healer. Your awareness is that truth you've been seeking. And all of this variety around you is just that, variety. There is goodness, there is love, there is life. It starts with you. If you took notes, good. If you have questions, comment in the comment section below. And if any of this was helpful, my pleasure. Thank you so much for listening. Till next time. Namaste.